Intro to BI, Final Revision 1. Contents of this session: Number 1, IS and Management Pyramid. 2, Business Competitive and Porters Model. 3, IS strategies to deal with the competitive forces. 4, Value Chain Model. 5, Database and Information Systems. 6, Database Concepts. 7, Important Database Definitions. 8, System Development Lifecycle. 9, Alternative Systems Building Methods. 10, Business Processes and Information Systems. 11, Systems as Planned Organizational Change. Information Systems and Management Pyramid. Actually, business firms have different information systems to support their decisions to all management levels. We have operation management, middle management, and senior level management. If we start in this pyramid, the pyramid in a shape from bottom to up starts with transaction processing system. Transaction processing system is a computer system that performs records daily routine transactions to conduct business. Operational managers need systems that keep track of the elementary activities on the transactions of the organization, such as sales, receipts, cash deposits, and payroll. TPS provides this kind of information. The purpose of the system at this level is to answer routine questions. For example, how many parts are in inventory? Such queries and problems are structured and repeated. The output of TPS used as input to other information systems used in higher levels of management. Let us move to the next level of management, middle management, where they use management information system. In the middle management, managers need systems to help with monitoring, controlling the performance of work at operational level. MIS get input from TPS to produce summarized reports on the company basic operations. MIS provides the managers in middle management with weekly, monthly, and yearly reports. MIS provides answers to routine and repeated questions. On moving to the third level of management, from bottom to up, we find decision support systems. That's used by senior managers in a middle management. DSS is used to support non-routine decisions. Problems at this level are unique and rapidly changing. For example, what would happen to the business revenue if production delayed for 8 months, for example? Inputs to this system is taken from internal information like TPS, product, and MIS. Also, they take external information. They take external information like a product or a service prices of competitors. The output of this system, DSS, is in a form of analysis models and charts. On moving up to EIS, like executive support systems, that they are used to support strategic decisions in the strategic management level. Such decisions like what about the number of sales in 5 years, or what about the number of employees in 4 years in the organization. Strategic decisions are long-term decisions. Decisions at this level of executives are rarely repeated, and there is some sort of prediction. It means a prediction because it's long-term plans. Problems are routine and not repeated at this level. Executive support systems, they use internal and external information. Internal information produced by TPS and MIS data and some financial data from inside the business. For external data, they use the proper external data related to the situation. The output of this system is menus, graphics, and dashboards. Business competitive and Porter's model. This model is used to describe the interaction of external influences, specifically threats and opportunities that affect an organization's strategy and ability to compete. In this diagram in the middle, the relationship between the firm and competitors, actually traditional competitors who are competing with the firm by developing their products, presenting new ideas, improving their products and prices. Let us move to the main 4 challenges in this that Porter's stated. First, in new market entrance, new companies that enter the marketplace and make competition with the older firms by presenting new products or services in a new manner or price. The second is a substitute products. Substitute products where the customers they can use in a case of increase in a firm's product or a service price. For example, the customers they can use online songs as a substitute to traditional music CDs. Customers can, as one of the challenges, is the third challenge in this model, customers can switch to competitors' products or services if prices got high. They can put influence or force on a firm and competitors to reduce their prices. Let us move to the fourth challenge, which is suppliers. Suppliers, they represent a power and can affect on a firm's profits, especially if the firm cannot increase the product or a service price as fast as suppliers can do. Any firm can handle this by keeping control on suppliers by having more and different suppliers. ISS strategies to deal with competitive forces is what the firm need to do to face these competitive forces. First strategy is a low-cost leadership. Use of information systems to achieve the lowest operational costs and lowest prices. Inventory replenishment system, which help in keeping prices low and shelves well stocked, as the situation in Walmart as an example. A second strategy is product differentiation. Use of information systems to enable new products and services to change customer convenience in using the existing products and services. For example, Google always introduces new internet services, for example, such as Google Maps. Let's move to the third strategy, which is focus on a market niche. In this strategy, information systems to enable a specific market focus and serve this narrow target market better than competitors. Information systems support this strategy by producing and analyzing data for finely tuned sales and marketing techniques. Information systems enable companies to analyze customer buying patterns, tests and preference closely so they can efficiently patch advertising and marketing companies to smaller and smaller target markets. How they get this info? The information systems get info from a range of sources like credit cards transactions, purchase data from check out counters, and so on. The business value chain model, as you noticed in Porter's model concentrated on external forces and suggested strategies to face those challenges or forces. But it did not concentrate on what exactly the firm can do internally to achieve competitive advantages. So the business value chain model highlights the primary or support activities that add a margin of value to firm's product or service, where information systems can be best applied to achieve competitive advantages. Let us look to this diagram. We can notice on the left support activities, primary activities, support activities like administration and management, human resources, technology, computer aided, procurement, computerized ordering systems. And then the primary activities, inbound logistics, operations, sales and marketing, service, and outbound logistics. And all of these can be sourcing and procurement systems that it can help the firm to add the value on the product. So the company or the firm can face or can achieve the competitive advantages. So this figure example of the systems that can be used for both primary and support activities of the firm and its value partners that can add a margin of value to the firm products and services. Database and information systems. An effective information systems provide users with accurate, timely, and relevant information. Any information system has a database to produce structured data that help decision makers in making right decisions in right time. In the past and before databases, the organizations relied heavily on traditional files which had the following problems. First, data redundancy. Data redundancy means duplication of data in multi-data files. So the same data are stored in more than one place in the organization. For example, employee data can be in HR and at the same time in a finance department. 2. Data inconsistency, when same attributes have a different values. For example, employee address updated in his HR file while is not updated in finance file. 3. A lack of flexibility. Traditional file systems can deliver routine schedule reports but cannot provide ad hoc reports. Ad hoc reports, it means reports that needed in routine on non-scheduled time. It can be needed at any time or any situation. Poor security. Traditional files have a little control and management of data access, which made data available for unauthorized access. 5. A lack of data sharing and availability. Because data are distributed independently inside the organization, it was difficult to share it when needed. For the above-mentioned problems, there were a need to database systems that can overcome those problems of traditional files and help in the decision-making process. Database concepts. A computer system organizes data in a hierarchy that starts with bits and bytes, which are shown here in the bottom of the page or this diagram, and processes to fields, records, files, and databases. A bit represents the smallest unit of data a computer can handle, which is usually represented in a form of zeros and ones. A group of pets, usually 8 pets, called a byte, represents a single character, which can be a letter, a number, or a symbol, a grouping of characters into a word, a group of words, or complete numbers, such as person's name or age. It is called field. A group of related fields, such as student name, the course taken, the date, and the grade, comprises a record. A group of records of the same type is called file. The example shown in here in this diagram, the records could constitute a student course file. A group of related files make up a database. The student course file shown in this figure could be grouped with files on a student's personal histories and financial backgrounds to create student database. Important database definitions. Database can be defined as a group of related tables. Entity can be person, place, or thing. Attributes, they are considered the characteristics of an entity. For example, if we choose a student as an entity, then attributes of this entity can be student name, student date of birth, student address, and so on. Actually, we have different types of attributes. Either it can be normal attribute, which is a one value, like ID number. It can be composite attributes, that can be broken down to smaller attributes. For example, the name, that can be broken down into first name and last name. Multi-valued attributes that can have multiple values. For example, an email address or location address that consists of letters and numbers on the same time. Derived attributes that can be calculated when needed. For example, age. User enters the date of birth and the system produces automatically the age. Let us move to primary key. Primary key is defined as a unique identifier for the information in any row of the database table. Actually, we have two types of primary keys. Primary key can be one attribute, like مثلا supplier number in a supplier database file, or can be a compound key, which have more than one attribute to form a compound key, primary compound key. For example, a spare parts database table, where the primary key, compound primary key, can be a spare parts number and a spare part name. A foreign key or a secondary key, both are correct, is either can be called this or that, is a primary key in a home table and is used in another database table to link between these two database tables. Systems development life cycle. It shows the activities that go into producing an information systems solution to an organization problem. The cycle consists of the following stages. It starts by systems analysis, feasibility study, systems design, programming, testing, implementation and conversion, systems maintenance. Let us start with the systems analysis. In this stage, it is concentrated on the study of the existing system, the analysis of the problem that the organization will try to solve with the information system. It consists of defining the problems in the current situation, identifying its causes, specifying the solutions, and identifies information requirements that they must be met by a system solution. The systems analysts create the roadmap of existing organization and systems, identifying the primary owners and users of the data and existing hardware and software. Techniques used at this stage are interviewing, observation, questionnaire. The second stage is a feasibility study. Feasibility study is to check whether the proposed system can be visible or not. We have different points of visibility. If the new system is economically visible, determines that the positive economic benefits that the proposed system will provide from the point of cost-benefit analysis. There is another types of visibility as well, like technical visibility, to confirm that the system will perform and verifies that there are no production barriers. Also human factors or visibility to determine whether the system is relevant and can be managed by the end user. Another type of visibility, which is a legal one, is a proposed system would be legally approved or not. In a system design, at this stage, designer receives the user requirements and needs to design the new system or proposed systems that meets the requirements. System design details specifications specifies what is required in the new system and the function needed for that. The following stage is the programming stage, which is translating the system specifications that's been decided by the designer, put it into a software programming code. Testing this stage is done to make sure that the system produces the desired results under known conditions. We have different types of tests. Unit test is testing each program separately in the system to be sure that each program is error-free. A second type of testing is a system testing, is to test the whole system and to be sure that the modules are working together and the whole system is producing the desirable results. User acceptance test is a third type of the testing to provide the final certification of the system and to make sure that the user receives and accepts the system. Implementation and conversion stage. Implementation by installing the new system, and conversion is the process of changing from the old system to the new system. We have different strategies about conversion. We have first a parallel strategy, second direct cutover strategy. Let us talk first about the parallel strategy. In parallel strategy, both old system and its replacement are run together for a time until getting ensured that the new system functions correctly. It is considered the safest strategy because if the new system proves some errors in a processing, the old system is like a backup. Let us move to the second one. The second strategy is direct cutover strategy, where the new system replaces the old one on accepted or appointed date. This approach is really risky because if the new system proved serious problems, then in this case will not be another back to this system, backup to the old system. Then let's go to system maintenance. In a system maintenance, after the system installation and conversion is completed, the system set to be in a production stage. During this stage, the system is received by users and technical specialists to determine how well it met the organization objectives. Changes in hardware or software or documentations or procedures to this system to be sure that this system is correct of errors and to meet new requirements. All this is considered a type of maintenance. Alternative systems building methods. Systems differ in terms of their size and technological complexity, and in terms of the organizational problems they are meant to solve. A number of systems building approaches have been developed to deal with these differences. Let us start with prototyping. Prototyping consists of building an experimental system rapidly and inextensively for end users to evaluate. Actually, the purpose of prototyping is to help in deciding about user requirements. So prototype is a preliminary working version of an information system for a demonstration and evaluation purposes. The process of building a preliminary design, trying it out, refining it, and trying again has been called an iterative process. The second building method is end user development, which is a type of information system that can be developed by end users without or with a little assistance from technical specialists. It is called end user development. A series of software tools categorized as a fourth generation language makes this easy for the end user to do. Development of information systems can be done in this way by end users with no help or no assist from technical team. Application software packages, which is the third building methods, they are applications that have been built on. Many application software packages are common to all businesses. For example, payroll systems, accounts receivable systems, or inventory systems. If the software package fulfills most of an organization's requirements, then there is no need for the organization to build its own software. Benefits of software package: it saves time and it saves cost. Let us go for outsourcing as the last building method, systems building method. If the firm doesn't want to use internal resources to build or operate information system, so it can outsource the work to an external organization that specializes in providing these services. Another form of outsourcing: a company could hire an external vendor to design and create the software for its system, but that company would operate the system on its own computers. Business processes and information systems. A business process is a collection of linked activities that is conducted to produce an output. For example, verifying sales order, or dispatching orders, or checking the customer credit. Why using information systems in business process? First, to increase efficiency of existing processes, automating steps that were been done manual. Second, to enable entirely new processes that are capable of transforming the businesses. Change the flow of information, replace sequential steps with parallel steps, eliminate delays in decision making. The systems as planned organizational change. Information technology can promote various degrees of organizational changes. This diagram shows the four kinds of structural organizational change that are done by information technology. First, automation. We have here on this shape, we have two axes. The vertical one represents the risk, the degree of risk, and the horizontal one represents the return of this change, starting from low to a high return. As I said, we have four changes: automation first, rationalization, redesign, and then paradigm shifts. Let us start with automation. Automation is a shift or change with a low risk and at the same time with a low return. Automation is the most common form of IT organizational change. Automation of business process can help employees in performing their tasks in a more efficient way. For example, airline reservation. Second step or second type of a change is rationalization of procedures. It's a deeper form of organizational change. It follows the automation. Because the automation reveals a new bottlenecks in a production, so a rationalization of procedures is a step that should be taken. Rationalization procedures is often found for making a series of continuous quality improvements in products, services, and operations, such as total quality management and Six Sigma. Let us move to the rationalization step, still with a medium risk. On the same time, the return of this change is not very high. We can consider it medium. Let us move to the third type of a change, which is a redesign. Business process redesign, a more powerful type of organizational change. In a redesign, business processes are analyzed, simplified, and redesigned. Redesign recognizes workflows, combining steps to cut waste and eliminate repetitive tasks and jobs. Redesign, this stage of a change, is still with a high risk. We go up in the risk. On the same time, the return of it is considered to be high. Let us go for the paradigm shifts. Paradigm shift is a more radical form of business change, and it actually is very dangerous and very critical. Paradigm shift involves rethinking the nature of business and the nature of the organization. The risk here is really high. On the same time, the return is very big and high. As an example to paradigm shift is like changing the business from, for example, car assembly into car production, which is totally different and totally a change in a business nature. Okay. Thank you and good luck.